Remember those New Year's goals you set last year? Remember that YouTube channel that you said you would start in 2025? Well, where is it now? Maybe you're the one of 10 people that decided, you know what, I'm actually gonna go and press record. Or maybe you're just one out of 100 people who actually decided, you know what, I'm gonna go and post that YouTube video. Maybe you were one in 1,000 people who actually posted a second YouTube video. Or maybe you were even one in 10,000 who actually stayed consistent for more than 3 months. 1 in 10,000. If you didn't know, a golden break in 8-ball is one of the rarest occurrences where the 8 rolls into one of the pockets off the break. And it's the same thing in YouTube in 2026 when there's a crowd of people going around and you have the lowest possible chances of succeeding more than ever is what many people tell you. But that might not actually be true, right? There's always some sort of secret you could potentially use to increase your chances. Some people say that it's cool shots, editing, cinematography, kind of like this intro that you saw earlier where we had all the cool shots and editing. But is that actually what's going to make your videos succeed online? Well, yes and no. Now, firstly, there is one downside to it, which is where it can be really time consuming if you're doing all the video production and cinematography yourself. I had to get my friend to make this shot over like 50 times and he's getting paid $0 an hour to be here. And the other hand is if you're doing the editing yourself, that takes a lot of time. Now, you could hire somebody else and pay them to do the editing, but that can get very time consuming. You have to train up a team properly. So it takes a lot of time and effort to make videos just cinematic without promising results. On the other hand, it can be really expensive from outsourcing the editing, or phase 3, as we like to call it at my YouTube agency. We'll get into that a little bit more later. Either way, my verdict, based on my YouTube agency's client results, is, does it really help? I would say not really in camera, production value, or editing quality. So, if it's not the YouTube videos, cinematics, or editing style that actually makes them succeed on 2026, then what else could actually make the difference, right? From someone wanting to not only watch, but actually potentially spend hours of their lives watching your YouTube videos of all things. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. It's just at the end of the day, you're out there competing with everything else that's perfectly tailored for people's YouTube home screen, right? But as a YouTuber who's done videos for over 6 years at this point, I do have a few more suspicions as to what could possibly make a better YouTube video. And 4 to be exact, actually. And I'm gonna be ranking each of these things based on 2 factors. Firstly, their importance to the YouTube algorithm, so how much of an impact they're actually gonna have on your YouTube channel. And then secondly, how cost and or time effective they are going to be for you as a business owner, as a personal brand builder, because obviously it needs to be worth your limited resources and your investment. Either way, there's tons of things out there and I may have saved the best for last, so let's get into it. But what about all that fancy YouTube SEO keyword research and all this strategy that everyone loves talking about, right? Well, the way I like to look at it is it's kind of like making the best sandwich or meal that you possibly can, right? There's lots of ingredients involved. You know, you could even put eggs on your sandwich if you really wanted to. You know, that's what I'm doing right now. But the point is, everyone can make a sandwich in 100, 1,000 different ways, and there's not really one right way to make a meal, but there are tons of ingredient options. Now, I like to look at keyword research the exact same way. And the interesting thing is YouTube is owned by Google, which is the largest search engine in the world. So it makes sense that YouTube is going to be very search-based. And in my agency, search, keywords, and all these things come into play in 2 of the 6 main phases that we spoke about earlier. Now, the first one is phase 1, which is copywriting, video outlining, and all that good stuff. Now, that phase includes things like doing title, thumbnail concepts, tags, and all these other keyword research pieces that we're going to do based on our topic research, which is something that we'll talk about later. But for now, we're gonna save that. The best way to think about keyword research though, is kind of like opening up your fridge and looking for a bunch of different ingredients to make the right sandwich, right? It might take a bunch of different things and you might not even like something the same as everyone else. But when I'm talking about you, I actually mean your ICP or your ideal customer profile or the person that you're making your YouTube videos for, right? They like specific topics, they have specific interests. So you need to spend the time looking through that fridge and figuring out, okay, what are the right ingredients that this person might actually like to have in their sandwich? And it's okay if it takes longer than you might plan it to, but eventually, maybe not even on the first try or the second try, you'll end up with something that you actually don't hate too much. And that is the ultimate goal of actually becoming a YouTuber or building a personal brand. It's really just understanding your audience better than they might even understand themselves. You know, basically literally being your customer, understanding them and what kind of questions they're asking that aren't being currently asked until you end up with something that they might actually be interested in. Now, the main things to keep in mind here when doing keyword research are that you have to get up to 500 characters of keywords for every single YouTube video, because that's the limit. So basically what that means is you have to come up with roughly 20 to 40 keywords, depending on their length, for every single YouTube video. And these are going to trickle down into the other things that we mentioned, like the title and the thumbnail and the description and all these other things, which is phase 6, where we're posting the YouTube videos and we're actually starting to put the entire meal together. Now, you want to think about phase 6 almost like plating your meal right before you serve it to your customer. Now, if you've already made an egg sandwich with a salad, you can't just go ahead and change the whole thing to be a bunch of mac and cheese, because that's a way too big of a difference and people are going to be able to smell it out, right? Phase 6 is after we've recorded, edited, and processed the entire video. So think smaller changes. Instead, like maybe we're going to add a glass of milk, which I didn't rip out the thing, so we're not going to do that. But the basic idea is you have to be able to understand that once you've recorded a video, you have the video, and then you have the video packaging itself. And the packaging goes into everything like we mentioned earlier, which is the thumbnail, the title, and the keywords. And the keywords are going to determine all of this. Think about keywords as basically the things that people are searching up online. Now you might be asking, how do you find these keywords? And no, this isn't a super in-depth video on how to actually find the proper keywords for your videos, but as a light overview, we can do this by using tools like vidIQ, TubeBuddy, Google Keywords, and SEMrush. These are a bunch of good tools that you can find, and I personally prefer vidIQ. Now, the easiest way to explain this is, what is this person in my ideal audience thinking, and how can we answer their exact question? Now again, there's other factors involved in keyword research like long tail and short tail keywords and balancing the two, but we could save those for another day. I think for now you're getting the general idea of how you research keywords. You use tools to help find the right ones, score them, and then build your titles and thumbnails before recording the video and eventually posting it. So let's get on to part number 3. Now, I'm not even gonna lie, after recording that, I forgot I was supposed to give a review on keywords. Yes, this is my actual lunch, but basically, keywords, if you couldn't tell, are not going to be the most important thing in determining your video. I was trying to hint to the idea that, for the most part, without proper topic research and proper understanding of your ideal customer profile, you're not really gonna be able to get anywhere with keywords, and frankly, keywords don't impact everything in the video creation process, right? Like, I'm not speaking right now based off of the exact keywords for this video, but I am on topic and I know who I'm talking to, okay? So I can always add in some keywords at the end of the video after posting as well. So that's something to keep in mind too. You can repackage videos a little bit, improve the keywords, plan them out just enough beforehand, but it's not going to dramatically change the video at the end of the day. So let's see what else is important. Or what about crazy, unique, ridiculous, over-the-top, eccentric personalities, kind of like my mom's lighthouse collection, ridiculous, crazy, and unnecessary. But do these kind of things actually make a difference in the actual performance of YouTubers? Well, if you take a look at people like Preston Plays or even Mr. Beast at times, who definitely has a bit of a, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to put 10,000 people in a river of lava and see how long they all survive. You know, there is some extremity to it. Or even if you've just seen some of those ridiculous videos that you can tell are clearly made for 11-year-olds, like building a water park in my living room, that somehow get 12 million plus views. Thank you, YouTube. But, you know, overall, there is a lot of stuff out there that surely goes viral, that is kind of crazy, that makes people interested in whatever the latest thing is out there. And, you know, it's cool, it's fancy, it's over the top, it's ridiculous. And the question is, does it work or does it not? Well, the answer is obviously yes. It gets tons of views. It's great. But only if you're okay with 3 things, which are firstly that your brand identity is going to be absolutely changed. If you're trying to be anyone professional or sell a high ticket service, you really think being Mr. Beast is actually going to keep you looking like a professional accountant, lawyer, you know, business owner, builder, whatever it might be, like if you're not selling some sort of direct to consumer good that's high ticket, then you're okay. But if you're selling some sort of non-direct to consumer, if you're selling something that's B2B, if you're selling something high ticket, your reputation is going to be completely changed. It's gonna take you a long time to figure out how to be crazy on camera, but then actually take a sales call right after. It's just, there's not gonna be any brand continuity, which leads into the second problem of having low sales conversion, because virality does not equal actually sales. Virality isn't sales, because you're just getting more eyeballs to see the same thing, but these eyeballs were only interested in the fact that you threw a porcelain house at the beginning of the video off to the floor and it didn't break, which is kind of what I did at the beginning of this video. But if that's all I did, then people would only be coming to the videos just for the crazy stupid stuff that I come up with. And that's not what I want at the end of the day as an agency owner, and it's probably not what you want either. And the third thing is, you don't want to be dumping sand in your freaking living room when you're 60 years old because you're making some beach video. Like, that's dumb. People don't want to actually, at least in my opinion, I don't think you want to be spending your time doing these crazy video ideas forever, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the grind never stops. So at the same time, respectfully, I do have a lot of respect for the YouTubers that can do this, but trust me, it's not for most people. So let's see what else is on the list.
What about number 4? Extensive video copywriting, planning, and scripting. There's a quote that goes from Abraham Lincoln that said, "If you were to give me 8 hours to chop down a tree, I would spend the first 6 sharpening the axe." Right? Spend that time sharpening your axe, which is your mind, which is the preparation that you're doing before the YouTube video, and you actually press record, right? You need to spend the time thinking about not only what does the viewer want, like we've been foreshadowing, but the actual things you're going to say, the main bullet points that you have for the video. Yes, you need to be able to go off the cuff like I am right now, but you still have your points in front of you so you know what to talk about. So you know the fact that you are on point number 4 right now, talking about copywriting, scripting, and planning, right? These are useful things to have, but also it's good to know the structure of the video so that your YouTube video actually has a format that makes sense when it's all put together. As far as like the results you can get with this strategy, it can literally double your channel's results if done just alone by itself. Like if you do the exact same YouTube videos, if I took these videos without planning and just going off the cuff, which is actually what I used to do. Like if you go back to some of my old YouTube videos on my channel, you'll actually see that I would just talk like this for 10, 20 minutes straight, which is kind of rare because most people don't have that ability. Most people need a script, and the opposite should be true for them. They should go into more of a bullet point strategy and start talking off the cuff a little bit. But for me, I needed a bit of more of a script, more of an outline. Either way, regardless of what kind of person you are, adding some sort of pre-planning, some research and outline for the video to format it, that's easily gonna double your channel results. You can double the amount of subscribers, maybe even triple it, you know, the same thing with the view count, the view duration, all these things. But, there's a big but, although yes, I would say it's 80% worth the time and the investment to work on this thing in particular, which is, like I said, the better stuff's towards the end of the video. I would say 20% of me says no still for the copywriting, because if you're not making 1% improvements with every single video, then it doesn't matter, because the copywriting is just gonna be the same. It's just gonna be boring every single time. If you're just, copywriting whatever pops into your mind without thinking about the topic too much and without thinking about the previous video and actually going back and watching it and thinking, oh, how can I improve that? And how can I make a note to myself in the copywriting, in the outline document? Or if you don't even have a system on what that document looks like in the first place, big no, because there's a lot that goes into copywriting. And if you guys are actually interested, you should check out this video in the top right-hand corner where I explain how my agency, Tactical Leads, literally has a video outlining document that I'm reading off of right now for this video that we use for every single YouTube video, not only for myself, but for all of our clients to have the exact same outline format and improve videos 1% every single time. But we might save that 1% improvement for a little bit later in the video. Let's see what else there is. And finally, video topic choice and industry research. Why the pumpkin? You'll see for a future video. But this is the most important one. I'm just gonna say it off the bat right now. 99% of your energy should go into this one. That's all I'm saying, because nothing else matters if you can't get your competitor research, if you can't understand your ICP. I've been explaining this throughout the whole video subliminally, saying you need to understand who your customer is. But the most important thing is 99% of your metaphorical energy, maybe more like 80% of your time personally, should be spent on knowing your target market better than anyone else in the industry, watching those YouTube videos, going in depth and scrolling in the comment sections and talking to your target market, understanding the people that you are trying to reach and what they want. So this just takes time. This takes a lot of energy, and there's an Alex Hormozi quote about this, but if it's this difficult for me to achieve it, then it's also going to be just as hard for anyone to come close to me. So that's why I think industry research, competitor research, topics, understanding your ideal customer and your ideal viewer over anyone else is number one, except for maybe one small thing. I did say 99% of your energy should be spent here, and that's because I actually have a bonus for you guys. Number 6, which is the most important thing that you should be doing in 2026, above all else, as someone who I am committing to, this is something I am committing to do above all else this year in 2026, which is posting consistently, and for me specifically, every single week of 2026. So when this video comes out, I'll have already posted a video a couple of days beforehand, literally the day I'm recording this, because I just wanted to get a video out in the first week, and I'm just gonna post every single week. Because the most important thing, for all the other things, you'll notice for point number 4, I mentioned copywriting doesn't matter if you're not consistent. Well, if you're not consistent, none of these things matter. But time and consistency, while improving 1% every single post, is going to get you success no matter how much of the other things you do, no matter how useful they are, right? Even if you are plateauing, just a 1% increase over time, and that's actually not even a plateau, right? The longer horizon you have, combined with a 1% improvement in any of the other aforementioned ways to improve your YouTube channel, you are golden. You will come up with something that you have an exponential amount higher chance to succeed on YouTube by just being consistent. So that's all I'm gonna say, guys. Just make those 1% improvements every single day while picking a cadence. Don't do something that's outside of your reality. I tried to post for 2 weeks straight back in 2025 to get started on this channel again. Literally 2 weeks straight of YouTube videos. Stupid. Now we're just gonna do 1 video a week at this higher quality cadence. And I think it's gonna be great. So just be consistent at a cadence that works for you, even if it's once a month. Just make the best video possible. That's my other recommendation. If you're gonna pick a cadence, don't do one that forces you to make worse videos. Make the best videos within the cadence that you have and find the balance. Because if posting more often means worse videos, then don't do it. That's my opinion. Now, if you're doing anything under once a month, then I would consider, sticking to a slightly less high quality video and starting to outsource more, which is why I think you should start working with an agency like mine at Tactical Leads. And heck, even if you don't work with me, work with somebody, get a video editor, hire somebody to help you out. Because if it's taking you longer to make than 1 month to make a video and you're doing it by yourself, something needs to change. It's not sustainable. Start paying somebody. So that's my recommendation. Be consistent, make those 1% improvements every single video from the 5 other previous points. Those are a ton of ideas for how you can improve 1% every video. And check out the videos on the screen right now. I've got one video here that's going to give you every single SOP document, Google Drive file, outline document that you need that my agency uses to be able to make these YouTube videos, and it's 100% free. So hope you enjoyed. Have a good one, guys. Peace.